My 27 female, ex 29 male threw a 6-year relationship down the drain. I don't know where to go from here. A 6-year relationship down the drain. My 27 female, ex 29 male had weight loss surgery a little over a year ago, and now after losing over 100 pounds, out of nowhere said he needed some time to see if he still wanted our relationship. That was on our anniversary in November. I spent Thanksgiving by myself, and on Christmas Day, he gave me a card with a typed letter saying he couldn't do this anymore but still wants to be friends. I'm shocked and hurt. We have an apartment, phone lines, and pets together. We were saving to buy a house out of state to be closer to his family. Now all those plans mean nothing. He keeps in contact with me daily through text and even checks in when I don't respond. A few days before he dumped me, he texted me a TikTok, and when I opened it in the app, another person's username and picture popped up saying they sent me the TikTok video. I clicked on the profile and saw it was a woman's soft corn account on TikTok. I asked him if he knew anybody by that name, and he lied and said no. Eventually, it came out that this was his friend he was helping build a social media following. He is a truck driver. He had several comments under her video saying how beautiful she is. I recently found out that the same friend posted my ex on a date with her on her Instagram with heart emojis. The post was from a week after he dumped me. My heart is shattered. I really can't understand how he could jump to another woman in a week after being with me for 6 years. I can't understand why he kept in contact with me while seeing someone else. To put the cherry on top, he took off work to come into my town for my birthday this weekend. I never asked or implied I wanted him to. Now he's saying he needs to explain it to me in person because I just don't understand him. What's there to understand? What's there to further explain?
Here is the story time of the most fucked up thing my mother made me do. I trauma blocked this shit out of my memory because it was like that scarring. When my mom was in town this weekend, we were talking about it and I was like, wait, I literally need to tell this story immediately. This story starts when my oldest sister was in the psych ward. She kept telling my other sister and I that she was going to the psych ward because she was like, I just literally need a vacation from life. And we're like, okay, but like, that's not really what the psych ward is like. You know what that's not whatever, if a bitch needs a vacation. Also, like, don't think she realized that like the psych ward is not glamorous. Like, this was not like rehab. This was a state psych ward. My oldest sister's going through it. While my sister's in the psych ward, we get the call, my mom and Sissy and I get the call that her best friend had died. Like, it's sounding really heavy, but it gets a lot lighter. Like, it is really fucked up. Find out her best friend has passed. We're all like so shocked. We're like in tears. Everyone's like, but we're like, how the fuck are we gonna tell my oldest sister? My oldest sister in the psych ward had a phone where she would like call us all the time, and she kept calling us and being like, let's call her dead friend Mads. Be like, why the fuck hasn't Mads called me? Like, where is Mads? And we like cannot tell her over the phone that her best friend died. Like, that's so fucked up. My mom's like, well, what the fuck do? We have to go down and tell her. And I'm like, what do you mean we? Like, I am not going to the psych ward. The reason I didn't want to go to the psych ward because years prior I was in the psych ward. And that's a story for a different time, but I was like, Mom, absolutely fucking not. Like, I am not going to the psych ward with you. Like, that's just gonna give me like trauma. Like, I'm good. And she's like, Olivia, like, I can't go alone. Like, I don't know how to tell your sister this. He's like, I'm not fucking going. I've done enough psych wards in my day for these like, literally not doing it. Like, I'm not doing it. I've been to the psych ward too many times for them. And I'm like, okay, bitch, relax. It was one time for me. Sissy's immediately like, no, like, I'm not going to tell her. Like, I can't. Like, I'm not. And my mom's like, please. So I'm like, fuck, I have to go to the psych ward with my mother to tell her. And I'm like, fine, Mom, I'll do it. We'll go to the ward together, like, whatever. I will say, at this time, I did not realize how intense this was going to be. That I didn't realize her friend being dead was a big deal, but it just like, it didn't, I don't know. I was like 19 years old. I was just like, fuck, I gotta go to the psych ward with my mom to tell, like, So my mom's like, let's bring her Chipotle, like, it'll harshen the blow. I'm like, I don't feel like Chipotle is gonna make her feel any better about this. She's like, yes, it will, Olivia. I'm like, okay, Mom, what the fuck, whatever. So we get to the psych ward and I'm immediately like, where the fuck are we? Go to her too. This psych ward, they're like making us take off our shoes. We have to go through like a metal detector. I'm like, Mom, this is like pretty fucking intense. She's like, yeah, like, I don't remember it being this intense. You were in the psych ward. I'm like, okay. Mind you, everybody, there's like a long line. Everybody there has like stuff for people. And the lady behind us says to my mom, she's like, well, like, when you come back in summer, like all these things. And my mom was like, who the fuck because in the psych ward, I feel like you're in there like a week max, basically, right? And my mom was like, who lets people be in the psych ward this long? Like, what insurance company is like covering this, right? So, and I'm like, God damn, they're like literally doing a strip search to every single person who's going in the ward. We get there, we give the guy the name, and he's like, ma'am, this is the prison. My mom took us to the fucking prison. I'm like, I'm sorry, sir, we're looking for the ward. And my mom's like, oh my God, thank God. Like, that was absolutely terrifying. I'm like, Mom, how the fuck did you take us to the prison? Like, how did we somehow end up at the state fucking prison? Like, we almost went in there. Get to the psych ward, we get in there, we see my sister, and my sister's like immediately like, okay, like, I need to get the fuck out of here. Like, I'm so over it here. And we're like, yeah. And then she's like, so where's Mads? Can you like tell Mads to call me? And my mom starts kicking me under the table. I'm like looking at my mom and I'm like, bitch, like, be fucking for real. Like, I'm not about to fucking tell her. Like, absolutely not. Mind you, like, my sister's talking and I'm looking at my mom like this, like, tell her, like, tell the bitch, tell her. And my mom's looking at me like, you have to tell her. So my sister's immediately, what the fuck? Like, where's Mads? Like, why did she get arrested? Like, what the fuck is happening? So I look at my sister and I'm like, I'm gonna tell you something, but you have to act really, really calm. Because like the nurses are watching, you know what I mean? Like, it's a supervised visit, but I'm like, you have to act very calm or they're gonna take you away. And my sister's like, okay, Livy, like, what the fuck? And I'm just like, Mads died. Mind you, I'm 19 years old. I don't know how the fuck to deliver that news. And I'm pissed at my mom. I'm like, Mom, why the fuck couldn't you tell her? Immediately after I say that, I'm like, Mom, what the fuck? Like, you couldn't say anything. And my mom was like, Olivia, I couldn't. Like, my heart is broken. Like, I just can't do it. My sister's like hyperventilating. And she's like, what the fuck do you mean? Like, obviously, like, she just found out her best friend died. So she's losing her fucking mind. My sister's freaking out. She's asking so many questions. I'm like, hey, you need to calm down. Like, the nurses are looking like they're gonna come over. Like, you need to calm down. Like, I can't. I'm like, I understand. Like, just let's breathe through this together. Like, it's okay. Nurse comes over. My sister's clearly like hyperventilating, like trying to keep it together. And she's like, what's happening here? Like, is everything okay? And my mom's like, she is just so excited about this Chipotle. Like, Mom, what the fuck? But my mom and sister didn't want the psych ward knowing that her best friend had died because they would like keep her in there longer to like look over her. And like my sister just wanted to come home and we wanted her to be home with like her family during this time. And the whole time my sister's still hyperventilating, freaking out. My mom's like, eat your Chipotle. I'm like, Mom, she can't eat her fucking Chipotle right now. She's like, but like, just eat the Chipotle. Nobody really knew what to do in this situation. Kind of just like held my sister and we're like, you're gonna be okay. You're coming home soon. We leave my sister at the psych ward and we're in the car and I'm so pissed at my mom. I'm like, why the fuck did I have to tell her? I'm 19 years old. I'm already traumatized to have to go back in that fucking psych ward. And my mom was like, Olivia, I'm just sorry. Like, I just couldn't. That was the story of the most fucked up thing my mother made me do. But we were all talking about it this past weekend and now we're able to like laugh at everything that happened and like how fucking insane that whole situation was. Honestly, I know Mads like that is the perfect way that I could have told my sister that happened. Like literally just the most chaotic, insane way. But as fucked up as that story was, it's nice to be able to look back on that time with like a little bit of humor, like something so heavy had a little bit of humor to it as well. Fuck my mom for making me tell her. That's still so fucked up.
My sister has been with her husband for 6 years and they have 4 kids together. They both work 9 to 5 jobs. Now, I live about 1 hour away from them. Whenever my sister is busy or when she needs someone to watch the kids, she calls me. I've been helping her look after them since she gave birth to her first child. I don't mind helping her, but I just can't take it anymore. Her husband does nothing to help her, and it's as if she's scared to ask him to. There's been numerous occasions where I've been very busy, and her husband is just at home doing nothing. When she'll call me to come take care of her kids, he'll just be in the house either playing video games or watching movies. And even when I go there to look after the kids, he does nothing to help me. I spoke to my sister about this once, and she told me a man will always be a man. Now, my sister told me she was pregnant again with their 5th child. It was great news, and of course I was very happy for her when she told me. But I told her I will not be around to help her with this child this time around. I have my own life I needed to concentrate on. She should let her husband help her this time around. She got angry and walked out on me, and now she's not picking my calls. Am I the asshole? This follower needs your opinions, babes. Please drop some below.
Am I the asshole for suing my girlfriend after she had my 1967 Impala project taken to the scrapyard? A couple months ago, I bought my first house that had a 2.5 car garage. I moved the car in and started tearing it down for a complete restoration. About 2 months ago, my girlfriend came to live with me during this whole crisis and the whole time has hated that car. Anyways, I was out of town for a couple days on a business trip for the small local company I work for. Turns out that while I was gone, she hired some people to come over and move everything related to that car and take it to the local dump. I was absolutely dumbfounded. I have spent over $11,000 on that car, including new parts, services, and the car itself. I told her that I was going to be taking her to court for that, and she brushed me off like I was being dramatic. Her family and friends are absolutely blowing me up, saying it's just a stupid old piece of junk and that she cannot pay back all the money I spent, and that I should just let it go.